let's move into our next topic. We've got the Chicago Bulls draft special for you today. As we have been doing, we're going through each and every team in the NBA draft. We might hit them all this year because there's no basketball, there's no stories, there's no real nothing going on. So we're hitting at least 3 teams a week, I think. And today's episode, we've got the Chicago Bulls, who, let's just be honest, like, I feel like we should just start at 7 because that's where we're gonna be. I know it's not our official whatever, but like, Bulls 7th overall, right, guys?
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
We've seen it many times before. What, 2 straight years?
Yeah,
3.
No.
It's been like 3. Yeah.
2 of the last 3. Markkanen was 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Wendell was 7.
Yeah,
Kobe, what was 9?
No, he was 7.
Yeah, so then that's 3 straight years of 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been great. It's been real great for us. But yeah, no, let's hit the sim lottery button on Tank. Say we do end up in that prestigious 1 overall spot.
Mm-hmm.
You got 1 pick. Tell me it's not LaMelo Ball, Ricky.
No, it's LaMelo Ball. Like, it's no one but. I can't stand people in our comment section that come at me and they're like, Ricky, we don't need a point guard. We got Kobe White. Well, first off, is Kobe White sold on, like, is he our point guard? Or can you get a better one and move him to the 2? Because we've had that debate too. If he seems like a 2 that can ball handle. To me, LaMelo Ball is the pick, but I'm just going to say this in general. To me, there's 3 guys I would be ecstatic if we got. LaMelo Ball, Denny Abdia, Obi Toppin. Like, those are it.
Interesting.
The only debate then is the value of point guard on this team, because it seems like the comment section each week we talk about this seems to tell us we don't need a point guard. But if I'm at 1, I'm going LaMelo.
Yeah, I don't understand what position these people think that they need. Like, I don't understand how you could watch Bulls basketball and think Kobe White's a point guard. And also, I don't understand how you could look at this team and say Zach LaVine's going to be on this team for the next 5 years. I also don't think that you can look at this team and say Kobe White wouldn't be better if they had a point guard that was able to run and facilitate an offense, because if they're able to run and facilitate an offense, unlike they have been this year, then everyone gets involved, and that just gives Kobe White more space to score. And look at what he's already doing with no space. If you give Kobe White space, he's going to score more efficiently. I don't understand these people that are like, oh, they don't need a point guard. If they're number 1, they are handing in a card that says LaMelo Ball. They don't need Anthony Edwards. They don't need another scoring guard who can't pass like Kobe White and Zach LaVine. They don't need a big man. They have Wendell Carter Jr. and Lauri Markkanen. It's easy. It's LaMelo Ball. I mean, this really comes down to these 3 guys. We don't know if they're going to be good, so you better just take the best fit, because none of these guys are really sticking their heads out. I think Wiseman is, but if they pick Wiseman, I think they're stupid. So yeah, it's LaMelo Ball. I mean, this guy can actually help you facilitate an offense, and they cannot do that right now. It's as simple as that. If you watch Bulls basketball and you think they don't need a point guard, you are not watching close enough.
There's a reason Ryan Arcidiacono is getting minutes.
Yes. He shouldn't be, or at least he shouldn't be getting over 20 minutes. LaMelo Ball,
don't bash Archie.
LaMelo Ball as your point guard. And I think this is the only team that we've been able to say this so far through 8 teams. Mm-hmm. But if you add LaMelo Ball to this team, I think they're a playoff team.
Okay. Oh, finally.
I don't know if it's right off the bat, and people will still be upset that Kobe White has to come off the bench, because I don't think they're getting rid of Zach LaVine that quickly. But if they're number 1 overall, I think LaMelo Ball on this team gives them a better shot than at least what we've seen last year. And even if we go through the same injuries, Markkanen going down and Otto Porter being out, whatever, if they go through these same injuries, it's easier for them to still be competitive, unlike they were this year when, all these players were going down.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer in my mind as well. The Chicago Bulls have one choice to make, and that's just which point guard are you going to take in this draft. If we do fall to 2 or 3 and LaMelo is taken off the board, I'm personally looking at trading back.
Because I don't want that. I don't want that situation at all. I don't want to have to choose between Wiseman and Edwards.
Yeah, that situation seems like a lose case, and I think there would be teams who would see that and try to trade up for that, because it's just not a need. Like, we've got 2 great scoring guards on our roster already. Mm-hmm. There's no need to go after an Anthony Edwards. James Wiseman's interesting, because if you think that Lauri Markkanen's time is up, mm-hmm. then I would consider going Wiseman. I mean, look, the health has not been something we can count on. We literally just took Daniel Gafford last year, though, and it's like okay,
but even then, all three of those guys have been injured. Gafford was injured, Carter was injured, and Markkanen was injured.
Exactly.
I don't disagree with the Wiseman thing. I just think that trading back is a smarter idea. I love Wiseman. He's number one on my big board. And you make a good point. All these guys are injured, right? And we don't know about Markkanen, and Wendell Carter saying he wants to play the 4. So maybe it is possible to slide Wendell to the 4. And we've seen that he's been able to shoot before. Shot over.
We called him
30,
Baby Al Horford, and
we shot nearly 40% from 3 in college. Decent free throw shooter as well. If he's able to expand that game, then maybe it's there. But then again, who's getting them the ball?
Yeah,
like,
it's back to the same problem. We have to steal a point guard from another team. They don't exactly. So yeah, that's a slight issue there.
Yeah, and I want to talk about this because Ricky, you mentioned the 3 names that you would be ecstatic about because I think we've talked enough about the top 3.
We get the point. We've hammered it home.
It's LaMelo Ball or not, and if you're not getting LaMelo Ball, then maybe you take Wiseman, but Anthony Edwards doesn't fit at all, and even then Wiseman's a little bit iffy because you have still 3 guys that are solid that can still be, somewhat starters. Like if Wendell Carter goes down, I don't think I'm that panicked that Gafford's starting. I think though,
except he doesn't start because we have Shrek.
Exactly.
4 now.
Sorry.
But I think that going through all of this, and I think we might be too high on Obi Toppin because you said the 3 names that you loved were
the
LaMelo Ball,
the
Denny
Obi
Avdija, and Obi Toppin.
The Obi Toppin thing is just I love Obi Toppin.
No, I know you do. I'm just saying I think we might be too high on him. I don't know.
I don't know if we're too high on him.
Top 7, it's still iffy. Can someone talk me into Obi Toppin?
I mean, for me, if I the reason I'm taking Obi Toppin, and this is if I'm taking Obi Toppin with the Bulls, is because I'm shipping Lauri Markkanen. Like if I'm taking Obi Toppin, it's because the new GM has come in and they're like, we're moving on from Lauri. We're gonna try to get what we can out of Lauri now. The thing that I just me personally like him, and it's one of those attachments where it's like he's my player. I don't care, good, bad, I don't care. I like him, but I would like to see him in a Bulls uniform. Best fits though is where I don't know if he fits in though because of the Lauri thing. Denny can fit in need.
I don't know if he fits into the offense, and I think that's the reason why I don't.
Yet again, what offense will we have because Boylan's going to be gone?
I'm just talking more about Toppin. I think he's worth the top 10 pick. But I don't know if he's worth the top 10 pick for the Bulls, just because the success that he's had is in such an open offense, right? Where he's consistently moving, he's trying to find a lane to the basket, and it's easy for Zach to do that because Zach is in the upper echelons of athletes in the NBA. He's got one of the best first steps in the league, but how many times do we see Bulls players driving and getting to the rim and having open spaces? Like that doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
And I think if Obi Toppin is drafted here, I think that it wouldn't be a pretty sight if Jim Boylan sticks around and Lauri Markkanen's around and Wendell Carter's around. If Obi Toppin's your 3, I don't like that. I like Otto Porter there because Otto Porter can be a very dangerous outside shooter, and he's also a good driver, and he's a good defender. Where Toppin, I don't know if he's as deadly as Otto Porter is, who Otto Porter, people might want to bash him anytime they can, but the reason why he's making $27 million is because he could shoot 40% from 3 and then also be a decent defender. And then, the added driving that we saw in 2018 before, obviously he was out the whole entire season pretty much this year. When he was putting up 20 points a game, the added driving was something new. So I don't know if I like Toppin's play style for the Bulls. And that's concerning hearing that he's, top 3 that you'd love him in a Bulls movie.
I just like I said, Obi Toppin, if we're drafting him, it's because I honestly think we're going to have a new head coach next year. So we don't know what the offensive system is even going to be. It's not going to look at all like what the Bulls were last year, because I'm hoping we get a coach that actually knows how to draw up an offensive play. Offense. It's like the debate that we had last night in the watch along, and I will ask you guys this question.
Sure.
Escape room style. So we lock Jim Boylan and Dave Fizdale into a escape room. They need, each one has to draw an inbounds pass to win the game. Who's escaping that escape room? If you had to pick, Boylan or Fizdale. And neither of us could pick, like anyone in the watch along could not come up with an answer. Like that's how bad Jim Boylan is at offense. So I don't feel like we will have that next year. For me though, I feel like if we don't go LaMelo, Denny Abdia is my next target. If he's gone, I am then weighing in my mind which point guards I like. If I don't like any of the point guards, where am I going besides that? Because if I'm not going point guards with Ball and Abdia off the board, the only way I'm going away from the point guard is if I'm moving on from Lowry Markkanen and I'm taking like an Obi Toppin or an Onyeka Okongwu.
Yeah, I don't know about Onyeka with the Bulls.
Onyeka and then move Carter to the 4 because he could play the 4.
No. I would say the only reason why we discussed that with the Wiseman thing was just because, I mean, Wiseman is a top tier player in this draft. We're not really sold if that is Onyeka's spot right now. I think that if I'm making a big board of my top 5, LaMelo's number 1. Yep. LaMelo's 1. I would put Avdia 2. Then I put Hayes at 3. And then 4 I put Halliburton. I think he'd be a fantastic fit here. And then 5, it's more of in the trade back scenario. But I think that really burning this whole entire franchise down to the ground is the smartest thing to do. And I think then take a project in Patrick Williams.
I know it.
But yeah, I love him. I love the guy. I love him.
I get it.
But yeah, it's my Obi Toppin thing. With Ricky has Obi Toppin, I have Patrick Williams. But yeah, that would be my top 4 pretty much. I'll leave Patrick Williams out there. But I think Halliburton is probably the next best thing point guard wise outside of Hayes and Ball.
Yeah, I'm just straightforward. It's definitely Ball, then it's Hayes, then it's Halliburton, then it's Denny. Like, and I know that's not the order they're going to get drafted in. That's my big board for the Bulls, though. Like, I have to prioritize having someone who can play the point guard role on this team, and I absolutely love the idea of Tyrese Halliburton there because I think he's exactly what this team needs. Like, he fits the exact model of what we wished, someone like Chris Dunn could be. He's already an incredible. He's a good defender. I don't want to say incredible. He's a good defender. He's got the size and body to become an incredible defender as he continues to grow and learn. His shot doesn't look great, but it goes in. He's efficient. He's not overly selfish. And that's one of the things that has cost him, a little bit of the Rondo syndrome. He wants to pass first. He doesn't always take the open opportunities when they come to him. But he's going to have so much talent standing around him and Kobe White and Zach LaVine, guys who are so ready to pull the trigger. I don't see that being a problem on this Bulls team. We need someone who can move a ball, run an offense, tell people when to make cuts, when to go, when to move. Like, he is easily the plug-and-play player that I see fitting, even though I do have him below Killian Hayes because I think Killian Hayes has just an all-around game with higher upside.
I think the biggest thing, too, is, like, if you draft LaMelo Ball, I don't think you need to make moves. I don't think you need to think, like, I would like to see LaVine, Ball, and White play together. And I know it's a very bad defensive lineup.
Well, but to be fair, can we just say that Zach LaVine got better defense? Kobe White's not as bad defensively as people want to say. So, like, honestly, it's just down to
LaMelo Ball is terrible.
Ball is horrible. He's Trae Young, but like a foot taller, as far as defense is concerned.
And then the issue with Halliburton too is I would like to see Halliburton with White and LaVine, but the issue with Halliburton then is he's a stick, right? So
he's got to put a little muscle.
Him guarding twos might be iffy.
He's 6'5".
He's long. Oh, he's absolutely long.
70 though, I think. So yeah,
he needs to fill out, and that's the issue. Is I don't know if that's a relative.
It'll take some time.
No, but my thing is, my whole point is I would love to see those three together, but I don't know if it would be a thing that would work right away and to the point when it would work when he has that pound, the weight on him. It might be too little too late at that point. So that's the issue I see with Halliburton, just because I think that you might not be able to capitalize on all of the talent on this team once he's fully ready to go.
Okay. Interesting. The one thing, Ricky, I'm surprised you had Denny and Obi over a Killian Hayes or Halliburton.
Well,
do you think that the wing, like, is it just a foregone thing that's like, hey, either Otto
So,
Porter or Lauri Markkanen aren't part of the future?
well, the list that I did, the three are
Yeah.
guys that I would personally be ecstatic for
Yeah,
if they're our pick.
that's fine.
I would also go point guard over. Like, Denny Abdia is interesting because I might go
He's a
Denny
point
over a
forward,
point.
you
Like,
know,
I
in
may
theory,
go with
could
him
be.
over a point guard just because of his talent level and where I could see him being on the, like, as an NBA player in general. But if he's off the board, like, Killian Hayes would be probably either, like, the way I would do it is LaMelo's number one. Denny is 2, only because I feel like he's going to be higher than Hayes. Then it'd be Hayes. Then it would be, after that, it's a toss up. You could go, like,
Okay.
if you think Obi Toppin or Aneka, because we're going to move on from Lowry. If you think point guard, which would be then Halliburton and Cole Anthony. There's also the other thing of, like, if we're at 7 or 8, do we
Let's
take
get
it?
realistic
Do
and
we
the Bulls are 7?
do we take an Isaac Okoro? Like what you mentioned with the Knicks, or it was with the Hornets, like not taking him because you already did that with Malik Monk. The fact that he can't shoot, does that really, wasn't that
MKG.
MKG was
MKG?
the joke. Malik Monk can absolutely
Okay.
twice.
But like with Okoro, where you're worried about his shooting, should we
Yes.
really worry about that? And at 8, could we take an Okoro to play the wing, just like we would take a Denny Abdia to play the wing, although Abdia is a better shooter?
My thought is, why take a Koro when you can take Devin Vassell?
Okay, or a Vassell. Like, do we take one of those
I like
players
this. I'm
like
starting
at
to-
7?
why do
I'm
you
gonna
like-
flip them?
Like, do we take one of
Dave-
them over a Cole Anthony at 7 or 8?
Well, Dave, explain what Vassell and Okoro bring to Bulls fans who might not be familiar to them.
Sure. So Isaac Koro, imagine this built, kid who is just bowling his way as a slashing wing in college. He's a solid finisher. He plays physically. He knows how to use his body, and like, there's reason to believe that he can continue to add on to that from a muscle standpoint. I don't know that he's going to get any taller, but it's never something you want to count out for these kids who are still 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He is only, I think, like 6'6", but I think he's like 220, 225, 230 range. Like he is big and strong and has great athleticism. He's known for his defense and his slashing. On the other hand, you look at someone like Devin Vassell from Florida State. He's a true wing through and through. He's like Danny Green prototype. You got someone who's 6'7", still a little bit on the leaner side, so he add muscle and strength to his game, but he's already got great reads on defense. He's a pesky off-ball defender. He's a pesky on-ball defender. Like he understands defense, where to be, where to position himself well, and he's just still a really good shooter too. Like he can hit from all 3 levels, and his 3-point shooting is the thing that obviously is that's the big intrigue. You have a 2-way player in college who's able to defend as well as he can. He has great instincts. He has great body. He's versatile. He can guard. I've seen him on 1s. I've seen him on 2s. I've seen him on 3s. I don't really see him on 4s too often. Be a thing at the next level, but with the way the NBA switches people around, who knows positionally. So he's incredibly versatile. He's the exact prototype of what you want in my mind. I value that over someone who still needs to prove that he can knock down shots, because otherwise you're stuck with like, a worse version of Andrew Wiggins, I guess, a defensive Andrew Wiggins instead of an offensive Andrew Wiggins. Like he can only score through slashing. I don't know. I hope that did him justice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think it did. And I think that the thing with the Bulls is the reason why I might lean Okoro over Vassell is that NBA body. If you're able to unlock it, like that helps your playoff push. Because if they're taking a guy like Okoro, I think they're looking to push for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Okoro is a guy that I think can help you more immediately if he is able to gel with your team. And I think that's where we get into of, is this a team that's drafting for the future, or is this a team that's drafting for, the playoffs? Because we really don't know, because we just talked about the GM and obviously they're making that change. But does it mean that anything is going to change outlook wise, or do they, does Jerry Reinsdorf think that if we change the GM, then everything will be fixed here? And I think that's where we could go. Where I think Okoro is a pick to win now, where Vassell is a guy that might help this team a little bit longer down the road, especially when they have a point guard.
No, that's fair. Ricky, what do you think about wings? Post Denny Avdia.
Yeah, I'm point guarding it. I'm going like, if I'm at 7 and Hayes is off the board, then I'm probably going either Halliburton or Anthony. If let's say we're at 8 or 9 and Halliburton's off the board, I'm probably looking at Anthony or Nico Mannion.
Really?
Or looking to I'm not going to trade back, because obviously I'm going to make that pick because there's wings there that you could still make, but I would maybe go more point guard than, because I still think this team needs their point guard.
Anthony is a fit at all on this team.
Why?
I just, his play style he's an ISO heavy ball handler.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need that. We have, Zach and Kobe.
Well,
can score.
Here's the thing though, and we've mentioned it before, and this maybe doing this right now because of the GM situation is not ideal, but who's untouchable on this team? If
Kobe
the
White.
new GM comes in, has basically no attachment to anybody, and a team calls, who's untouchable anymore? Like, because
Nobody.
it's not Paxton and Gar Forman, we don't know what this team is going to, we don't know what the plan for this team is going to be. And it's same thing we talked about for the Knicks and the Hornets. If you think Cole Anthony at 8 can be the guy, be damned. I don't care how this year works.
That's fair.
If I think that's the plan and that's the future and he's who I want to build around, then that's how I think this team is going to view it. I don't think we can view it anymore of what do we have right now, because we don't know how the new GM is going to view the team and who is he going to want to keep. Because I would agree. I would keep Wendell and Kobe. Everyone else is fair game.
Well, here, I would keep Wendell and Kobe, but if you're asking me who's untouchable, I don't think anyone is untouchable.
Oh, no. If there's an offer and I like it,
Okay.
I'll trade Wendell or Kobe, but I feel like they're the only two right now that I'm going to build around.
Okay.
Or try to build around.
Agreed.
Yeah. Sean?
Yeah, I was just, I didn't know if you were going to ask a question. So I didn't want to cut you off, so I was just going to shut up. Yeah, I was just going to shut up.
No.
Post wings, if we're not talking Obi, if we're not talking Denny.
Yeah, post Denny and Obi. Yep.
Halliburton and Hayes and LaMelo Ball. Like, this is worst case scenario if all these players are off at 8, and they're dropping down in the lottery, whatever. Cole Anthony is a nightmare. Tyrese Maxey would be a nightmare. Nico Mannion would be a nightmare. Like, I truly believe they're screwed if they don't get one of those guys.
Yeah,
Like,
that's my biggest concern. Is if we
at that point, do you go Hampton? Like, do you entertain that at all?
Do you think he can be a true point, or do you think that the combo of White
No, but it's somebody else. It's somebody else who can pass. Like that. That's the thing.
But is that his repertoire? Is that what?
No. It's just like Kobe White. It's just like Zach LaVine. Like, they aren't pass guys, but they can pass. Like I wouldn't trust them to facilitate for an entire game. But if those 3 guys are my 3 facilitators, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Like, at that point, you have to take somebody, right? or even then, like, if I'm at 8, like,
try to build
what are
like
my packages?
the Miami Heat there?
What are my packages to trade back? Like, I think that if I can't find a move to trade up and get LaMelo Ball and I'm at 8, like, is entertaining the fact of moving down a possibility? Because at that point, I don't really want to take anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I would rather have someone give me future assets. And I think at that point, like, you're out of the star range in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you could still find value at like 15. Like, if they wanted, if at 8, if all those guys that we've named are off the board and they're like, all right, we're trading back, we're going to get a future for next year that's unprotected, and we're going to take Pat Williams at 15. I think it's a great move.
Yeah, but I think people know the value of what could be next year's draft class versus what is this year's. That's why I'd be interested to see if, like, I'm looking at teams with like multiple picks or picks later on in this first round. Like a team like the Celtics have so much capital, not only in the draft, but also in young talent who isn't getting minutes on the court because they're just so playoff hunt. They can't afford the minutes to the younger kids. Like, could you see them giving up like 17 and Romeo to get to 8 or something like that because they really fell in love with a guy? Like,
absolutely not. They'd be stupid to give up Romeo. They want to give up Romeo. I'd take him.
Really? I'm just
Romeo Langford has been like one of their best defenders off the bench. Romeo Langford's been like
I don't think he's averaging 8 minutes a game.
Yeah, and you don't understand like every Celtic writer is like this kid is going to be our best defender in 2 years.
He's better than Marcus Smart.
He has been insane in the games that he's played. He's been super impactful.
Okay. I know he's looked good in his limited minutes, but I didn't think he was that good in his
first thing when you Google Romeo Langford is Celtics Wire's best of rookie Romeo Langford's defense in 2019. Like I'm telling you, these Celtics people are stupidly impressed with what Romeo Langford has done, and I think that with his age, if they're giving him up, I would take him. He might be. Shoot, I mean, he'd probably be top 10 in this draft, right?
That's actually a great question.
I think he's better than Hampton.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, he's more proven than Hampton, but he also has like a broken shot, and he was injured. So,
still take him over Hampton.
Oh, I would too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, if they fell in love with a guy, I was trying to think of a team.
You cut out what? You're trying to think of a team of what?
Oh, later on with draft capital that they could easily move, that the Bulls would be interested in. I don't know if there's another team later in this draft that really, whatevers. So I don't know. It's interesting to think. Ah, man. Nobody stands out.
Yeah. Also, Romeo Langford in the G League did shoot 80% from the free throw line and shot 21% from 3.
Yep, that seems about right.
Romeo.
Seems like a Romeo. But yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap it up for the Bulls draft picks. Basically, it's point guard or bust. It seems we'd settle for the second tier of
the last thing I want to mention, and this goes into why I would take point guard this year and not wait to next year. Is so I'm looking at NBADraftRoom.com, and of course 2021 big boards are a joke at this point, but they're kind of there's kind of some reality to this. Of you look at just the top 11 players that they have listed, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are threes, and like there could be two of the top 4 players in the draft class could be wings. And one of them in Jalen Johnson, this website is comparing him to Paul Pierce. So, I mean, next year looks like it's going to be a little bit more wing heavy at the top than point guard, where this one we know it's a point guard loaded top. So that's why I would lean point guard over 3.
That's actually smart, looking ahead and using your brain. Appreciate that kind of forward thinking show. Sean, any final thoughts? Are you point guard or bust then?
Yeah, I think I agree with Ricky. I think that at this point, if this team's not finding their guy, whether it be Halliburton or Hayes or LaMelo Ball in the top 7, I think it's either, you might even be talking about a trade up to get one of those guys. They need to get a point guard. That's for sure. And if they're not, they better get a ton of draft capital for next year.
Okay. Well, that'll do it for our second segment of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching, so much for sticking along with us in Twitch. We love it. We love the extra love you guys toss us and keep us going.